John Moses Browning, arguably the most influential gun designer of our time. Hi, I'm Steve of the 6'5 Guys, here on vacation in Ogden, Utah. Today we've got a special treat for you, hopefully. We're here in Ogden to visit the John M. Browning Museum, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. We'll see you inside in just a minute.
The museum is located in Ogden's historic Union Station, located at 2501 Wall Avenue. Union Station is home to the John M. Browning Arms Museum, as well as the Utah State Railroad Museum and the Browning-Kimball Classic Automobile Museum. For an entry price of $5, you'll be able to access all three museums. The museum contains original models of firearms designed by John M. Browning. These include rifles, shotguns, pistols, machine guns, and cannons. Most familiar firearms, both sporting and military, are included, and the museum contains one of the largest collections of Browning firearms in the world. John Moses Browning, born in Ogden, Utah, was an American firearms designer who developed many varieties of military and civilian firearms, cartridges, and gun mechanisms, many of which are still in use around the world today. A devout Mormon whose parents came across the plains with Mormon pioneers, his father Jonathan was a gunsmith and literally raised his sons in the workshop. John Moses designed and built his first firearm from scrap gun parts at the age of 10. Over his life of 71 years, he was awarded 128 gun patents and literally changed the world of firearms. There are many great firearms designers in the past 150 years, such as Samuel Colt, Horace Smith and Daniel Wesson, Nikolai Makarov, John Garrett, Ronnie Barrett, Eugene Stoner, Mikhail Kalashnikov, and many others. But within the pantheon of great firearms designers, John Moses Browning towers over everyone else and is without equal in the impact he's had on our modern firearms designs. Let's listen in to some of the insights and comments from experts and historians.
The man himself was a genius. There's no doubt about it. He could work up designs in a remarkable period of time. He also had the luxury and the benefit of working with probably the best firearm designers in the world. He worked with the people at Winchester who perfected his initial designs. Remington, Fabrique Nationale, Colt. He was fortunate in that because it allowed his products to come to fruition much quicker than they might normally have had if he had just been working by himself in Ogden.
Is that he had the gift and the craftsmanship to take his design from his mind to his shop and create it in 3 dimensions. He could work with tools and develop his ideas without the necessity of relying on others. Today we have some sophisticated computers that can illustrate a part from many angles and even integrate it with other parts right on the screen. But 90 years ago, John Browning's mind and his hands were accomplishing that same thing that we have to rely on computers for today.
John Browning was the most brilliant and prolific inventor in the history of gun making.
He was the Leonardo da Vinci of firearms.
Browning is probably the most significant and important gun designer that ever lived. If any person could be called a firearms genius, it's John Browning.
So in many ways, you can probably take all of the other 20th century small arms designers, lump them together, and if you could create one person out of them, you would have someone who just about matches John Browning.
And that particular touch of genius, which was so typical of John Moses Browning, was recognized by the local armorers. And the workmen at FN called him le maître, that is, the master, because obviously he was a towering man not only in stature, but also by the genius of his mind.
The museum provides a multi-generational history of the Browning family legacy of gun designers, starting with John Moses' father, Jonathan Browning. There's, of course, John Moses Browning, his son Val Browning, and Bruce Browning, the grandson of John Moses Browning. Also near the entrance are cases of small replicas of some of Browning's firearms designs. Many of these replicas are fully functional models. Notably, the small replica cannon is fully functional and can actually fire projectiles. The museum has in its collection all of Browning's iconic firearms he designed, many of which are actual prototypes of the original models, as well as last production models of these designs. A member of the museum staff accompanied us on part of our walking tour. Let's join in on the discussion.
Here in Ogden. We're up here on Kiesel Avenue, just the other side of the federal building on Kiesel.
Okay.
And these are remnants from that shop that were in storage that we put together.
So these are representative, probably the latest
Stuff that he used, yeah.
stuff they actually used
Except for the lathe on the bench right there on your left.
Okay.
That came out here in a covered wagon in 1852. The old man brought that here to Ogden with him in 1852. That's his barrel lathe.
Oh, really? Okay.
Now the machine on the floor.
Over on the right?
Left, on the floor on their left.
Okay.
With a wooden thing down here. That is actually how they used to rifle barrels.
Okay.
That's how they cut the riflings in barrels.
So they actually do cut rifling with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you put your kid on the end of the handles down here on the end, and he can wear a groove in the floor walking back and forth, dragging the tool back and forth in the barrel.
Gotcha. Wow. And what's this machine on the far right?
That big mill back there.
Okay.
Milling machine. Some of the early firearms he made.
So these are all the prototypes that he made.
Prototypes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's the Holy Grail 45s right there.
Yep.
Okay. Now, when he presented that to the government, he had two models. He had the hammerless and the hammer model.
Okay.
The government adopted the one with the hammer. Now, the original one here doesn't have something that's cold added to it, a thumb safety.
Yeah.
Okay, yep, I noticed that, yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Now the
cold.
one on the bottom does.
Well, the one on the bottom is a hammerless model.
Okay, but it doesn't have the grip safety.
No. Yes, it does.
Oh, it does?
It does.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But it never went into production. That's the only one.
Yeah.
But now there's so many companies making this that's
Yeah.
unbelievable still.
Yeah.
Look at that little pocket one. Those are like,
Yeah, those are made at Fabrique Nationale in Belgium. And the top one's a prototype that he made by hand, and then the other ones are production ones that were made in Belgium.
okay. So those are like, almost like a woman's gun. You can stick it in a purse.
Well, they are. They're little pocket pistols.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You're lost out here in the desert. Is that what you're doing? You're out here and got lost. Yep. A lot of people are out here wandering in the desert this time of year.
Get them some water and some sandwiches.
That's right. That's one thing that's made this desert boom with water.
Absolutely. We were out just coming back from Washington State.
Well, these people are from Washington State up by Seattle.
Yep, they were out on the Olympic Peninsula. My sister was at the 80th birthday anniversary.
Oh, great.
Visiting her, and got a daughter in Olympia and another daughter in Portland. So they flew and I head back. We're riding and all. Can't stand flying.
You come down the, after you left Portland, you go over down the Columbia Gorge there.
Yeah.
Stop and see the waterfalls.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous.
It is.
Beautiful.
Yes, my third daughter is development director for Friends of the Columbia Gorge in Portland.
course would be a hair.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me it was from the basement. Arg.
Hi, hopefully you've enjoyed our visit to the John M. Browning Museum. He truly was a great gun designer. Until next time, remember, life's an adventure. Stay on target.